In fact, you know what? You know, Genius has pissed me off. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna watch Tekken. We're gonna watch me playing Tekken 7, okay? And you can tell me if it sounds closer to my description of what Tekken 7 experience was like, or what Genius is. Again, just like with the buff guy, instead of just talking about it, use your own eyes. You tell me what Tekken 7 was like. How's that sound? Hey man, I got to go. Hey, da. Genius, stay. Science, bro. All right, we're gonna skip the commentary because we're not here for the commentary. Respectfully, Mr. Rockstar, we're gonna play some music in the background to make it spicy. Okay, I'm gonna watch. Do I get high quality? No. Oh. We're gonna watch. Look at them just backdashing. Look at them just backdashing, bro. Look at them just fucking backdashing, bro. Oh shit, look at them just backdashing, bro. Look at all this. Bro, they're not even doing nothing. They're not even sending buttons or nothing. They're just backdashing, bro. Oh, so dead, bro. Look at them just back. Okay, this round. Check this out. Round start, backdash. Yeah, you're right. Look at the Lucky Chloe just backdashing. Look at this bitch. Look at her just backdashing. She ain't even doing nothing. Look, you see that backdash? You see that upwards backdash mid? Crazy. No, you right. Look at her just backdashing and shit. Look, this is dead, bro. This is dead. Look at her just backdashing. Look, what was that? She's just backdashing. Look at her, just backdashing. Not doing nothing, bro. Oh. All right, first round. Check how Chloe got clipped. Rewind. First round, check how Chloe got clipped. All right, bet. Let's be scientists. Your bad to the mouth. All right, cool. Best round. Check out who got clipped. Where'd she get clipped? Where'd she get clipped? Okay. She got counter hit that first time. She backdashed like 5. Yes, she backdashed 5 times. But like, backdashing is not a sin. You are saying like they were just back and no moves were coming out. Like this is what I don't get. No one denied that people backdash in Tekken 7. That's not the claim. You're acting like there was no interactivity. When people claim about backdashing, they're claiming there's no interactivity. But I'm just seeing actions. This is what I'm saying. She's back against the wall. She's nervous. Leo's wall game. She got fucked up. That round. Got fucked up. And she got counter hit. Nah, the highest level is 100% the case. Yes, but we were not at 100. Bro, over 90% of the world wasn't at the highest level. That's what I'm saying. That was kind of clean. That was a clean backdash. I mean, backdashing is reasonable since she got hit, no? Yeah, she got counter hit multiple times. Why wouldn't she backdash? She minus as fuck. This is what I'm saying. She's under pressure. She doesn't know what to do, but she's backing up. Until she goes, fuck this. Got you. You're dead. Hold that. Alright, cool. This round, they're just gonna backdash. Both of them gonna end up in the other side of the... Wait a minute. Why is she throwing out moves, bro? Bro? Genius, what are these moves she's throwing out? I thought she just backdashing. What's going on? Now Leo just backdashing. Yo, Leo. What are you doing? Yo, Leo. No. Just backdash. Just Tekken 8. Just Tekken 7 to her. Just backdash. Do nothing. What? No. What are you doing? Guys, what are you doing? Just backdash, bro. Also in Divine Rule, a high rank, because Chris Chloe can't even KBD properly. All right, so we were discussing, like, can I get the thing? All right, cool. So this is not high enough rank. If I remember correctly, this was the beginning of season 2. So these ranks are actually kind of inflated. This is back when people were struggling to get red rank. This is when I first broke into red rank. So this guy is making a beeline, if I remember correctly, towards like Fujin and stuff. But you don't trust this footage? We'll go to someone else. It's fine. We'll be scientists about this. You don't trust this footage? I got you, Genius. I got you. I don't want to be accused of false information. Let's go watch someone else after this. Let's get into the trenches. Okay, cool. So who is he? He's playing Alyssa. Alyssa versus King. Let's go. Backdash City. Here we go. Get ready for no interactivity. Get ready for none. Nothing finna happen.
Plans and you have expectations.
Nothing finna happen, bro. Damn. Wait. Whoa. Genius, what was that? Wait a minute, Genius. Genius. Wait. What was that? Hold on. Where was the backdash? Round style backdash?
Yeah.
Right? Round style backdash, yeah?
It's one of those things.
Round style backdash?
New Year's Eve.
Round style backdash?
You have plans and you have expectations.
Whoa! Round style... Genius! What happened? Where's the backdash? I thought it was just backdash in Tekken 7 when it was just backdash. What up, Jetsu? What happened? I thought it was all just backdash, bro. I thought the game was all backdash. 1 second in, man's got counter hit in the mouth. Okay, now it'd be backdash. Oh, more counter hits! What's going on? It's all just backdash. It's all just backdash. That's what you said. You said the game was just backdash. Look, okay, look, backdash. There you go. This is what we're talking about, right? Just backdash. Nothing. There's nothing. There's no interactivity. No one's swinging. No one's doing moves. No one's making choices. Just backdash. So what's happening? Right. Pressing and flipping coin, man. That's it. Look at this, man. No, you're right. Turns out you were right, bro. They're just backdashing. No one's doing nothing. Don't look at the screen. Don't use your eyes though. Don't look at the screen. Don't look at the moves that both sides are doing. Look at this. Look at this backdash. Look at this boring gameplay, bro. They're just backdashing. Bro, they just yo, someone push a button, cuz. Someone push a button. Look, it's neutral. No. Hold on. Look. Okay, so after a giant swing, yeah? They're a giant swing. Opposite sides of the screen. So obviously they're just gonna backdash now, yeah? Opposite sides of the screen. No, there's no need to interact. They're just gonna backdash. Yeah? And these are Emperor. This is Emperor. So it's 1 rank below what? Hold on. 1 rank below God, if I remember correctly? 1 rank below God. Whoa. Is this forward movement? Is this forward movement? Yeah, these guys are playing very Tekken 8. Ah, genius, bro. This is how people play. Genius. This is how people play Tekken 7. This is the thing. Do you not hear yourself right now? Okay, this doesn't count. Higher level. Go higher level. Okay, this doesn't count. They're playing very Tekken 8. What are you talking about? Like, 2-1 Tekken God. Got you. Thank you. Oh, look at that. Okay, hold on. Look at this. Not doing anything. Look at anything. 1 second. 2 seconds. Oh, they're back in. Okay, sorry. No, I was assuming that they were just gonna backdash for an hour. My bad, bro. I don't get why they're swinging like this, bro. Obviously, everyone knows Tekken 7 is just backdash. Oh. They're just backdash. I just don't know how you can watch. This is what I'm saying. This is reminds me of the buff guy thing. We have this idea of how it is in our heads. Let's just watch it. Okay, here's a good idea, right? So you're trying to lane out. Gets fucked up. Alright. Let's just watch it. Okay. Rockstar 93, not a good enough sample. Fucking Frame Whisper, not a good enough sample. Okay, cool. Let's go to another sample. Fight. The backdash is insane. Must have practiced this KBD for them. Yes, wow, this wow. Oh, you couldn't attack in Tekken 7 apparently. You couldn't attack. Like, this is what I'm saying. I don't get. Not only do I not get, I actively. It's not fair because people are just saying what they remember. Like, so if I'm being like needlessly mean-spirited to Genius, I don't mean it. But the reason why we all have certain things that like disproportionately upset us, and like the revisionist history of Tekken 7 is wild. I understand that people are tired of people bitching at Tekken 8. I get that, and I also understand people tired of people pretending that Tekken 7 was the best game ever. It was perfect. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing needed to change. It was perfect. That's wrong too. But I'm tired of people being like, yo, Tekken 7 was boring, no one did anything. That's not true either. Tekken 7 was fun. There's a reason why Tekken 7 blew up the way it did, despite being a low-budget game. This was a low-budget game, bro. This is one of the only games that got bigger 3 consecutive years at EVO. More people got into the scene. More people over time. And it died off the way all games do, but it was growing constantly. Tekken 7 turned more Street Fighter players into Tekken than any other game. Turned more Guilty Gear players into Street Fighter players than any other game. Of course, Akuma played a big part in that. I'm tired of people acting like Tekken 7 wasn't good. I'm tired of it. Not only do people just look at the end of Tekken 7, they look at the end of Tekken 7 and the tournament scene end of Tekken 7. It's wild to me. This game was sick. I'm tired of it. Akuma was my shit in T7. Akuma was fucked up in T7, but even that, no one really cared because who was playing Akuma in ranked? People went to Tekken because Street Fighter 5 was the worst iteration of Street Fighter there has ever been. Fair enough, I'll give you that. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that Street Fighter 5's weakness didn't play a large part in the success of Tekken, but that's always the case, right? The fighting game pool is always like slowly pulling from each other. If one game's weak, the others get stronger. I track that. But even still, that doesn't mean that Tekken 7 wasn't hype. Because it's one thing to pull people in, but people became Tekken players. That's the thing. Yeah, they stay. That Street Fighter 5 being bad is enough for you to get into Street Fighter 7. But unless the game is actually good in its own right, you're not going to stay. So many people stayed. It was extremely hard in my opinion. Yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying. There were very few people kicking your ass with Akuma. So when he showed up, you're like, well, I hate this matchup, but I hate it. But this is the only Akuma I have to deal with this month. Or these 6 months. I just, bro, Tekken, and again, I'm not even talking about Tekken anymore. I just, Tekken 8 it's just not doing it for me, bro. It's just not doing it for me. If Tekken 7 was that bad, then they would have jumped to other 2D fighters. Potentially. I just don't like I understand why people hate the revisionist history of Tekken 7 was the best game ever, but I feel the same way in reverse. So I can see the fact that online, Tekken isn't just 100% backdash, which is me being hyperbolic. The players I'm playing against offline is backdash. Sure. So if your argument is that Tekken 7 was a boring game to compete in at the highest level, I can't speak to you. I didn't compete at the highest level. I'll give you that. Sure. At the highest level of play, it was a boring game to play, competitively. Here's a question though. If you were to ask the pros, the people that we're talking about now, the pros of Tekken 7, did they prefer Tekken 7 as a competitive game or Tekken 8? What do you think they'll say? That's my point. So even the demographic that we're talking about, that in theory, Tekken 8 is supposed to be the savior of, they're not happy. This is what I'm saying. The only one who's happy is Speed Kicks. And I respect Speed Kicks. So he's clearly seeing something I'm not seeing. I hope VF5, EF and CLTW for 2D. We will see, man. We'll see. I'm not sure. I don't know if they would like T7 or T6. I think the question actually doesn't matter. I think it does. No, I think it does matter. I think it does. Because your argument was that, okay, fine. For us online scrubs, the game was fine. But at the highest level, it sucked. But then my question is, okay, so then did we solve the sucking? Are pro players who were supposedly upset with the nature of Tekken 7 at the competitive level, are they happy with T8? And I feel like the answer is no. So I don't think it's irrelevant. I think it's very relevant to what we're talking about. Because what you're saying is you're conceding the ground on the common man. Fine. But you're saying, but at the competitive level, it wasn't there. And I'm like, is it there now? And even then, if we go back to the things that people were really complaining about at the competitive level, so much of that was DLC stuff. But can we go back to like T5 or T5 or 4? Were they happy with T6 or T7 or whatever? People were happy with T5, Dark Resurrection. People were happy with Dark Resurrection. People were very unhappy with baseline T6. T6 had its own sort of revolution, like Bloodline Revolution or something like that, where it definitely got improved, but there was a sense that we've definitely lost a step. That was the consensus view. And then Tekken Tag came out, which was a piece of shit. Really fun, but piece of shit. And then Tekken 7 came out, and it was like, this is really stiff. I don't like the stiffness of this, and we're losing a lot. But it's more stable than Tekken Tag, than what we've come from. That's how I read it. That's how I read sentiment. But also, I wasn't there. I mean, I was alive, but I wasn't playing like that. So, but that's how I read the sentiment. Tekken 5 is widely considered no, they nailed it. Tekken 6 was hated because of a lot of the changes they made. Then they made changes based on what people thought. And so people liked the updated version better than the core version. But I still don't think people were like, well, it's better than T5. But at that point, we couldn't go back. At this point, we're in a different console now? I think it might be on a different console now. T7 is the best selling in the series. Yeah, but it's also the last one that came out. So that's not a fair test. They've had 7 years to sell up. And the games industry as a whole has gone up. But yeah, T7 did sell very well. Better than they thought it would. And I think Speakers actually said it best, where he was like, his problem with the Tekken team is he doesn't think that the Tekken team know why people like Tekken. And when I see the choices they make, I go, yeah, I see that. I don't think they know. Which seems like a wild thing to say. Oh, you think you know what people like better than them? And I'm like, actually, Loki, I think so. I think they don't. They know they have a good product on their hand. They know they have the beautiful product on their hand. I don't think they know. I don't think they know why. But they make these choices. I'm like, surely you knew this would be unpopular. Surely. Chad, did you ever get Soul Calibur 6 at all? Was that the last Soul Calibur? Yeah, I did play it a bit, but then the netcode was trash and then COVID. But yeah, Soul Calibur 6, I loved it. I thought it was fun. But then they had that dumb what's it called? The rock, paper, scissors mechanic that just fucking ruined everything. That mechanic was dumb. I hate that. I hate that thing. TA is overly focused on newbies having fun. I don't even, that's what people say. I don't know if that's their philosophy. I don't know if that's their motive. I think that's probably part of the motive, but I do think it's a case of they saw the backdash Olympics at the highest level of T7, and they also saw the skill gap. Like in Tekken, when a really experienced player plays against a noob, they can just smother them underwater. So yeah, to some extent, they did want a sort of a comeback mechanic, a sort of I can force you to guess situation. So the gap between the highest end of the skill distribution and the lowest end of the skill distribution isn't too broad. They definitely did that. Fun equals winning for most newbies. Getting blown up in any... Yeah, exactly. I totally understand that. Because like I said, even when I was playing Virtua Fighter, when I played against some of those pros that came to the lobby, I remember thinking like, this fucking sucks. I have no idea how to get around what this guy's doing. He's so much better than me. He's using the system so much better than me. A part of me was like, man, it'd be great if I had a win button. It'd be great if I had like a thing to just slow the game down. Or force them to respect me. But then I also thought like, well, no, not really. Because then why am I doing it? But honestly, playing Virtua Fighter made me understand why they've made so many decisions. I didn't understand why did they make throws tracking. And then I played Virtua Fighter. I'm like, oh, actually, tracking throws do create an interesting mind game. I see that now because I played Virtua Fighter. I'm like, I don't understand why they did this or why they did that. I go, oh, okay, I understand now. EU Rager, bro, the EU Rager. I'll fuck with the EU Rager. TA inflated my ego thinking I got good, but it was a bigger wall. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. And again, I'm not a game designer. It's easy for us to sit here at fucking 1 o'clock in the morning speculating about what they should do or what they should have done or why they did what they did. But the more I play VF, the more I look at old T7, I'm like, no, it's not just nostalgia. It's not just nostalgia. Because it could be just nostalgia initially. But like, I gave this game 1,000 hours. I tried. I didn't just come in and be like, oh, this game sucks, stop playing. I tried. And then even when I wasn't having fun, I assumed it was my fault. I changed my character. I was like, maybe I just don't like T8 layout, but if I play a different character, I'll have fun. And it wasn't the case. And I played a different character, still not having fun. Different character, still not having fun. So I did due diligence, still not having fun. Then I played other games and went, actually, no, it's not me, it's the game. I don't know exactly why Tekken 8 is fucked up, but it's fucked up. I know why it's fucked up for me. I know why it's fucked up for me. But I don't know if it's the same for other people. And I also know that a lot of other people fucking love this game. They fucking love it. I think season 2, excluding full crouch heat exchange, is going to be good. I don't know. I have no faith in that. I have no faith. It could be. T7 is a bad game. Yeah, Tekken 7 is a bad game currently. Because the end of Tekken 7 was a mess. It was a mess. The DLC characters came and fucked that game up. Fucking Leroy. Noctis. Leroy. Fucking Julia was a nightmare too, low key. In terms of risk versus reward. And like, but she got snowed under by fucking Marduk and Fakuram. Like, those characters came out and just fucked that game up. And then Kunimitsu at the end to end it off. Fucking, what's her name? Zafina and Kuni. Like, so much of what people hate about that game was just DLC stuff. Which again makes me go, oh, Tekken 7 was bad. No, their DLC practices were bad. When they tried to introduce more elements to their game, they fucked it up. Iteratively. So in some ways, we should have known Tekken 8 would be a shit show. Because everything they tried to do to, quote unquote, improve the game, or to add to the game, just made it whack. So it'd be one thing if Tekken 7 was moving in a positive direction, and you'd be like, oh, Tekken 8 is going to be the shit. But when you saw them just degrade their game over time, you know, we should have been like, well, actually, the new game's going to be shit. But we were so ready for a new one, we gave them faith. And the point is, I did what a fan is supposed to do. I gave him a good shot. Like I said, you have no idea. If you don't believe me, you need to believe me. When I wasn't having fun, I did not blame the game. I blamed myself. I was like, I'm doing it wrong. Get good. I'm doing it wrong. And I'm just like, bro, I've done due diligence. This ain't it, chief. This ain't it. And it's more than that. Even, you know what's really funny? Even when I watch streamers play this game, I was like, am I just depressed? Do I only follow depressed people? Are there like people being like, this is great. I play this game all the time and I'm loving it. I'm like, no, most of the people who play this game the most are the most dejected and the most depressed. Like, this game is fine if you're going to play it casually. But the more seriously you take it, the more depressing this game becomes. And then on top of that, just like I said, what's happening to the community is just kind of trash too. Not only the way they talk and treat each other, but then also just like the one and doneing. Like, there's just so much about this game compounding. I'm like, what is happening, bro? What is happening? Yeah, what's happening, man? It's kind of crazy. But yeah, you know, I was watching. In fact, I went back and started watching Tekken 5. Again, I wasn't there for Tekken 5. I didn't play Tekken 5, but I was watching Tekken 5, and I realized that they added bound in Tekken 6. So the combos in Tekken 5 are like Virtua Fighter combos, where it's just you knock them up, ba 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 ba, you're back in the game, and I'm like, yeah, that'd be fun. You gonna stream tomorrow? Probably. Yeah, I'll probably stream tomorrow. You gonna play rank tomorrow? The more popular the game becomes, the less bad apple, the more bad apple. Yeah, exactly. Genius, you're 100% right. You're 100% right. That's the nature of population in general. I think in any population, 30% of them are going to be trash. So you have a small population. Typically, the good guys outnumber the bad guys greatly, and the impact that the bad guys can have is quite small. When the population grows up to millions or whatever, that 30% is now a large number, and more of you end up encountering them. And so the ratio is always the same, but the impact of that ratio changes as the population gets larger. That's my theory about not just Tekken or whatever, but the population in general. And so it's like, yeah, Tekken's reached that threshold where it's like, ugh. Tekken 5 Oki options are the most insane options ever. Everything can be relaunched for full combo. Yeah, that's true. And also, that was one of the things that was sort of nerfed, right? They were like, Oki options are insane. We don't like this problem. We're going to simplify it. And what's funny is I don't think people complain about that. So again, I'm not opposed to them removing depth. If it in place of accessibility. For example, if they're like, oh, Virtua Fighter, stagger sucks. We're going to get rid of stagger. Some people will complain. Most people will be like, yeah, that's an efficient change. And the decision for Tekken to be like, yeah, Oki options are kind of fucked up. Like, you literally can't play the game if you don't know how to stand up right against specific setups. That's whack. Let's streamline this game's Oki so that 90% of the time you just have to hold back. Cool, done it. Some people complained. People who had the big setups complained. Oh, my character, blah, blah, blah. But for the most part, we were like, okay, but people aren't really here for the Oki setup, so we'll live. People aren't really here BF for the stagger mechanics, so we'll live. But there's other stuff where it's like, Tekken is movement. Go watch any fucking blasted salami video. They're like, Tekken is movement. So watching the degradation of movement is wild. It's wild. The more I learn about T5, the more I think Tekken 6 is where the shit got fucked up. Yeah, I 100% agree. I think in terms of story, in terms of music, in terms of combat mechanics, I think that game got fucked up. But then, like, I think 6 is where a lot of the bad things, where there was rage. There were not rage arts, but rage was introduced. Bound was introduced. And so we go back. Again, one of the things that you said, Genius, was like, oh, people always complain about the new game, which is true. But like, going back, sometimes those complaints hold up to scrutiny. Sometimes they don't, but sometimes they do. It's like, actually, people's beef about Tekken 6 made sense. Tekken 6 pull with rage? My lord, bro. Anyone with rage. Tekken 7 pull with rage, to be fair. Not gonna lie. The fucked up Oki of previous games is so interesting to me. Yeah, interesting, but you don't want to have to deal with it. I mean, it's interesting, but that's because you're a hardcore player. So you would have learned to deal with the intricacies. But they're worried about, okay, how do we turn someone from a noob to a hardcore player? And if you're a noob and every time you try and get up, you just fucking get relaunched. It's not fun. And so the experience might be such that you never become a good player. Another good example of this on the other side is like Hopper, right? I always talk shit about Hopper, but he's a good dude. And like, Hopper's really funny. He was able to play this game and pretty much without any labbing, just take Victor all the way to God of Destruction. Just fucking, don't get me wrong, he put in the hours, he put in the work, but just by feel, get up there. And what's interesting is that now he's playing as a sinner and he's struggling, but he's learning to play real Tekken. And what's fun is like, maybe if he didn't have that easy mode run up the ranks, he wouldn't now be putting in the time to become a good Tekken player. So maybe you do have to do that. Maybe you do have to blow smoke up people's asses to turn them into good players. Maybe that's what you have to do. People who hate on the new game are usually the old guard from the previous game. New blood is what usually carries the new game. I agree with the first half of that statement. I agree with the first half of that statement wholesale. I disagree with the second half of that statement wholesale. I think what carries the new game is a combination. The enthusiasm of the old guard tends to leak into the new guard. I don't think I'd be a Tekken player today if it wasn't for the enthusiasm of the content creators and stuff for Tekken 7 and the hype around Tekken 7. Not just from marketing videos, but like the players. The players were hype. They were ready. They were having such a good time. That's important. Veterans are super important, I think. Like, they're not the only ones. If you're making decisions only to please the veterans at the expense of new players, you're fucking up. But like, I think it's what you're aiming for is a symbiosis. The veterans, I think, yeah, please don't underestimate the power of fucking veteran enthusiasm. It's a drug. It's really watching people just be, I'm going to make a video. I'm making no money. I'm going to make YouTube videos out of the love of the game. That's what I did. I started making YouTube videos out of the love of the game. And I'm not a veteran, but veteran enthusiasm. Air doing it for the love of the game. That's a fair point. But when the vets are hating on the game, it has the opposite effect. To some extent, yes. To some extent, yes. I think so. I think, yeah. Check on KOF Marvel game. Oh yeah, it's true. It's true. It's true. It's true. Veteran hate has the opposite effect. It's true. But again, yeah, it's true. And I think what's an interesting example, and you'd be better to judge this, Genius, is what's happening to Street Fighter. When Street Fighter came out, that game was loved. And it's only now in year 2, I feel like, that there's like a ton of being like, man, let's go back to Street Fighter 5. But it's taken 2 years. It's too late. It's taken 2 years. It took 2 years for that to fall off. That's saying something. So even though now there's a nostalgia thing, it's not that strong. It's too late. The game's too successful. It's too big. Whereas in this game, Tekken, it happened immediately. So I don't know what that says. So in some extent, what you're saying is true. Oh, you always start missing the old game. But I think there should almost be a scientific. People were saying that from nah, there was an enthusiasm for Street Fighter 6, bro. Some people were saying it, but there was an enthusiasm for Street Fighter 6, bro. There was a real enthusiasm. A lot of people were turned off from the game. People were bitching, but I don't think that sentiment, Genius, you be the tiebreaker here. I don't think sentiment was like, man, this is a bad game. Let's go back to 5. I don't think that was sentiment at all. At all. Bear Man, stop playing it. Stop playing 6 to go back to 5. I don't know, bro. I didn't see it. I believe you. You're a Street Fighter guy more than me. But I didn't see it. I was in Taiwan, which means I was actually online a lot. I was doing a lot of online. People hated 5. But people were ready for 6. People were ready. People pretend skipping neutral was a Street Fighter 6 problem that only existed in that game. That's another issue. Yeah, people will bitch about like, oh man, back in my day we had nice neutral. Near the end of year 1, at the end of Capcom Cup, basically. Yeah, Genius, I agree with you. That's when I started to say, yeah, at the end of year, it took a year. It took a year for people to start being like, now that I'm watching it at the highest level, a lot of it does just seem to be like go green, go burr. Right, so it took a while, and now there is this sense of like, man, we gotta get rid of this green shit. It's curdled in year 2. But my point is, I think there should be a scientific study. Your game is successful based on how long it takes for the retro vibe to kick in. If the retro vibe takes a year to kick in, it's a good game. Yeah, 5 was an okay game at the end. Stop it, Jesus, stop it. To be fair, it didn't improve over time. 5 seemed to improve over time. I remember I came in, I was playing some Lucia. Like, this is kind of fun. Okay. I wasn't good. Like, this was great. Kind of fun. Definitely seemed to get better. But yeah, it was never good. I don't think it was ever good. But it got better. But yeah, people were ready for 6, man. Positively received by the hardcore scene. Positively received by the G and Manat. Oh, godlike, though. Yeah, great designs. I like Lucia though, but like no one had time for it. You do the crowd, you pay the time. I love the New Jersey accent. Yeah, Manat's nice. We love Manat's nice. Yo, you want to talk about guest characters? Let's get Manat. Lol. But yeah, it's yeah, Tekken. It's just, and every time I leave the game, I'm always like, you know what? Maybe I should take a break. And I leave, and I take a break, and I come back to this game, and I'm like, fuck this game, bro. I can't believe I forced myself to keep playing this. This is it's just not it. And again, it's like, oh, just get good. I'm like, but no, I think it's the first time in my life. The first time since playing Tekken 7 that I genuinely don't have an interest in improving at Tekken. I've always been like, whatever level I'm at now, I want to get to the next level. When Tekken 8 came out, I was like, I would like to go from being an expert, a low expert, to being like an elite player. And this is the game I'm going to do it. They always have that joke. No one gets godlike in their first Tekken game. Well, this is my second Tekken game. I'm going to get good. And now I'm like, I don't want to get good. I don't want to put in the time it would take, the work, the effort to get good at this. I don't like this system. I don't particularly want to climb this ladder because there's only shit up this ladder. I'm going to be an elite player at T8. Have fun, bro. All right, there's only shit up this ladder. Thanks to Genius UK. Sure, you need to get yourself a GameCube controller first and foremost. Kappa. Stop it. Stop it. Get some help. But yeah, it's not it, Chief. What you mean, Sensei? Lol. Just become a defensive god? Why? Lol. Damn, that's an insult. Told me everything I know? Dizzy. How are you gonna insult Genius like that? Lol. To be fair, no, his Steve is scary. I'm getting scary by the day. But yeah, I'm not enjoying Tekken 8. That's no secret to anyone on the channel. And coming back today, playing quick match and just being like, just interaction after interaction being like, I hate this. I hate this. I hate this. I hate this. This match. I hate this match. This match. I hate this match. This match. I hate this match. I hate this feeling. I hate this interaction. I play T8 very casually after getting GOD. I'm only going in with mages, come around like CEO. So what is it actually about T8 you hate? I talked about it in my VF video if you didn't see it. But basically, here's how I summarize it. Yeah, and I'm assuming you didn't see the video. Every fighting game is a collection of problems, right? Every single fighting game. So in Street Fighter, you have the guile problem, right? Sonic booms versus flash kick. How do you deal with that problem? Okay, interesting problem. You have the Zangief problem. He wants to get near you. He wants to get near you to grapple you, force you to guess, but he moves very slowly so you can take him from afar, right? That's the Zangief problem. Your Shotos have their own problem. So every game has a collection of characters, and each character is a collection of problems, right? And so when you say you like a game, what you're really saying is, I enjoy the problems that this game asks me to solve. I enjoy struggling against and trying to overcome the guile problem. I enjoy struggling to overcome the Zangief problem. I enjoy trying to overcome the Ryu problem. I enjoy the problems that this game represents, because that's what it is. It's constantly, and it's often the same problems, right? The same characters, right? And so the game you enjoy is the game that gives you problems that you enjoy tackling against, like Tetris, like a puzzle game almost. I enjoy the problems this game is giving me. The issue I have with Tekken 8 is that I don't enjoy the problems it gives me. Whether I can solve them or not, I don't enjoy the act of solving the Tekken 8 Kazuya problem. I don't enjoy the act of solving the Tekken 8 Lars problem. I don't enjoy the act of solving the Tekken 8 Jin problem. Because the situations they can put me in, and the options, or rather lack of options I have to deal with them, just feel suffocating and suck. And a lot of the times, even when I win, I feel as though, oh, sorry. Tell me when it's over. Boop, 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 boop. Classic ad break. Turn off the ads for a second. I'm saying some real shit. Where you at? Where you at? Embrace the pain. Join the dark side. I have joined the dark side. I'm playing BF. We back. Guile problem. I enjoy. Yeah, exactly. Right. So we back. Guile problem. So every fighting game is like a series of problems that you enjoy. If you enjoy solving the Guile problem, you'll probably enjoy Street Fighter. Or if you enjoy the Guile problem and the Zangief problem and the Ryu problem, you'll enjoy the game. Or even if you don't enjoy the let's say Zangief problem, if you enjoy the other problems enough, you'll enjoy the game. So every fighting game is a collection of problems. My issue with T7, if I'm going to do like top level, I do not enjoy the act of solving the Kazuya Tekken 8 problem. I do not enjoy the act of solving the Tekken 8 Jin problem. I do not enjoy this act of solving the Tekken 8 Lars problem. That's the issue. The situations that the characters are able to put me in, combined with my lack of options when I'm in those situations, are such that I'm like, I'm not having fun here. The only time I'm having fun is when I win, right? But that's not good, because trust me, if you go back and watch my YouTube videos, I spend a lot of time not winning and losing, right? But like the actual act of solving the problem was fun in and of itself. Of course, it's more fun to win, but you need the actual act of solving the problem, the choices, the pieces, like Tetris. If someone likes Tetris, why do they like Tetris? They like Tetris because that act of solving this problem does something for their brain. They enjoy the act, right? And there was a time where I enjoyed the act of Tekken. Tekken 7 was an enjoyable act. So in that situation, don't you need a different solution to the problem? No, because the list of options available to you are finite, right? For example, there are some situations where it's the case you don't know the problem, you don't know the answer. So that's the thing. Whereas like for me, I always talk about Kazuya because I think the Kazuya problem is like my favorite, because it's the one that like, the issue isn't that I don't understand the Kazuya problem. It's a very simple problem to understand. The issue is I don't enjoy doing it. Even when I win, I have a positive win rate against Kazuya, but like, this sucks. This sucks. Because in theory, I need to sidewalk left, but like, even when I sidewalk left, I can be caught by things, especially if they're in heat. So that's very frustrating. So you're actually kind of incentivized to do the thing you're not supposed to do, which is hard guess. And even if you do move really well, he has abilities to force you into that guessing situation. And God forbid you have your back to the wall. And there are so many times, if you go back and look at my face when I'm playing that, so coming from Street Fighter 4, certain problems are there is no solution, and you have to, yes, but genius, again, you need to go back and watch my VF video, because I said this. You 2D players are the same. You 2D players are used to this. You 2D players are used to holding shit. You just have to hold it. Throw mixer, fucking throw loops. You just gotta hold that, right? And your only option is the EXDP, which is itself super risky. There are 2D games, because the offensive options are limited, your defensive options are equally limited. That's a 2D convention. That's a 2D convention. So in some ways, Tekken 8 seems to be made to appeal to sort of 2D fighting game philosophy. Because as a 2D fighting game player, holding it is like, you accept that. You accept that as part of the package. But I, as a 3D player, don't play 2D games for that reason. The reason I play 3D games is because I like there being literally 3 dimensions of problem solving. Yes, I can guess mid-low or I can sidestep. If I don't know what you're going to do, but I know when you can do it, I can sidestep. And so I'm not a tracking move, I'm free, right? That was the core difference between the 3D game and the 2D game, right? And that's the thing. So I'm sure a lot of people are, especially if you're coming from 2D games, you're enjoying the fact that, like, oh, this feels more like a 2D game and has 2D logic. Like, that is a price you are already willing to pay, because that's how you associate with fighting games. But like, as for me, I'm like, this feels suffocating. And it's why Virtua Fighter is like blowing my mind right now. Because literally, I'll get hit in the face because they punish something. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm -4, -6, or -9. And I don't need to know. All I need to know is, what do I think my opponent is going to do next? And if it is not a tracking move, I can safely sidestep, safe in the knowledge that I'll beat whatever you do. And lo and behold, it works. Whether I'm -9, -6, -5. I don't have to be like, oh, okay, am I -4 to 1? In which case I can sidestep. And also, which direction should I sidestep? Well, it depends. If he goes straight down forward 2, I need to go left. No. You can make informed decisions as the defender. Is this theory problem solver one that only happens in your own mind? Because like 80% of problems in Tekken 8 have a solution. No, I don't think it's... I don't think anyone can accuse me of not investigating Tekken. I don't think anyone can accuse me of not like studying the game. So if I lose, very often I'll be like, okay, why am I in this situation? What can I have done? And even when I listen to the pros, they'll be like, well, the solution was to not be in that situation. And you go, okay, odd take. Like, so for example, if I get hit by Eddie's forward 4-3, what are my options? Mid or low, right? Mid or low. And it's like, okay, so I don't mean in your mind specifically, yours was used there as a general. Oh, is it something? Yeah, I guess so. I see what you mean. Yeah, maybe it is in my mind. But again, I'm a mind-based player. Like that's where the game is. Like the game for me, fighting games for me have always taken place not on the screen, but in my head. I enjoy, again, I think that's why I often talk about card games. Because a lot of the fun of card games is like, before you even play the game, just like creating your deck and looking at all the possibilities available to you. And I hate being in situations where it's like, hey, here are the only 2 options you have available to you. Like, oh, that sucks. Like I've always been the kind of person, I mean, why I play Leo. I've always been the kind of person who would trade power for versatility. So I'm in this tight situation, but I have 5 different things I can do to get out of it. I love that. Even if all 5 of them are not as powerful as other people's options, having multiple options, live for that shit, right? I'll gladly be a jack of all trades, master of none. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is literally Tekken, right? But like, but again, this is a preference thing. And again, it's why I'm trying not to shit on, I mean, obviously in my stream, and I'm talking to you guys, I'll shit on it. But in my YouTube videos, I try not to shit on Tekken 8 anymore. I try not to shit on it because people love it, right? That is a valid type of game, but it's not what I came to Tekken for. And I dare say it's not really what Tekken has historically been either. Forward 4-3, Eddie is a great example. Force you into mix, but still Eddie can't be too predictable with it. Yes, he can't. But what are my options? Crouch block, stand block. That's it. And let's say he's in heat. So he does it, and then he goes for the mid. And I guessed correctly on the mid. Good job, me. But he heat dashes it. So now he's +5 in my face. Now I kind of have to guess again. It's like, okay then, technically you have options, right? But like with the movement in this game, how confident do you feel? Real talk, again, ignore sway, lucky bastard. How confident do you feel doing anything other than guessing mid or low? How confident do you feel? And what is the risk reward on doing anything other than mid low? You're fucked either way, right? Because you have to guess. But like, how confident you're like, no, if I sidewalk, I'm eliminating these 2 options, but risking this option. Because here's the thing about, I was about to say, yeah, fuck you, Genius. I knew you were about to say sway, Genius UK. I knew you, fuck you. I knew you were about to say sway. Like, what can you do? You just have to guess. And I don't like that whole. Whereas again, that same type of situation in Virtua Fighter, it's like, okay, the Eddie equivalent in Virtua Fighter would have the mid or the low, right? But I would also be able to sidestep to beat the mid or the low. But if he guesses correctly, there'll be a tracking move that could beat the mid and the low, right? But it'll be minus. So like he has to guess and I have to guess. Also in these situations, I take the lesser two evils every time. Yeah, but it's costly. It's costly because again, there are only so many of the hell sweeps you can take. And every time he gets it, he's getting stronger, right? Because of his weird mechanic, his weird like Bajingo mechanic or whatever, right? And there's also situations, and then so that's one example, a hard 50-50. It's a very common example. But here's another example. I don't know if you were watching, but there's a stream I did a while back. Actually, might have been my last. I think it was my last Tekken ranked stream, and there was an opponent that was playing against a Victor, and I said he was on the other side of the screen. And I was like, he's going to running two. He's going to run into Genius. Listen to me. He's going to running two. I swear to God, I was checking his feet. I sidestepped and it clipped me. And I was like, again, maybe skill issue, maybe online lag, whatever. But I'm like, this sucks because there are moves in this game that are balanced around you being able to move around them, which is a valid balance thing. And yet they aren't made super linear the way you think you would make them if they were balanced around it. And this is running two. Running two is not even like the worst move. Running two, the width of running two has already been nerfed once. But it still has phantom tracking. This is my point. So I'm like, again, there are times where you just guess wrong, but there are also times where it's like, no, Chad, here's the answer. The answer is this. And you do this and it doesn't work. Side work, greater than SS and now. Yeah, but it's true. And that's okay. Maybe, and according to some people, it's always been like that, right? But my point is, compare that to say Claudio. When Claudio does his running two or with a big punch, it's a high, right? So with 100% consistency, if I know he's going to do it, I crouch and I beat it. There are some insane hitboxes for sure, but with running moves, they randomly realign because of forward movement. It's 100% BS. That's my point though. No, but Genius, this is my point. It's 100% BS. And again, this might be fine too if the running moves in this game weren't powerful. But Genius, they are powerful. They're very powerful. So here's what they've done. They've created moves that are very powerful. And the only thing that makes them not OP is the fact that they can be stepped. But they've also made it that you can't consistently step them. If that's not bad design, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. That's bad design. That's bad design. You would be like, you know what? Regular moves, fine. They can have the weird phantom tracking. But these moves that are like, have dumb range, by design, they are going to be linear as fuck. If you even sneeze a sidestep, even if you even scrape the button up or down, you will whoop, out the way instantly. That's how they should be designed. That's how it works in Virtuafied. Again, I keep talking about Virtuafied, but like that's a game that's designed well because you can be like, again, to go back to the problem thing, right? Think about Pokemon. That's a fire Pokemon. So I can say with certainty that if I do a water attack, it'll be super effective against it. You can make informed decisions because things work in a set way on a system level. No. Again, so in this situation, isn't the problem that you think you have the correct solution in theory, but practically it doesn't work? So better solution would be to use keep out. Here's the thing though, right? I love that you said that. Keep out was one of my favorite forms of playing the game, right? Especially with Leo, because again, Leo's very versatile. So some people, I'm like, I'm going to bully you up close, like Kazuya, right? Because he doesn't have like strings and defensive tools. But other move characters, they're really good up close, but they can't outrange me, right? Here's the thing. Keep out in this game is, and I'm not just saying this to put you on the spot, unless you're on a GameCube controller, keep out in this game is really tough. It's really tough. Like incredibly hard. And I wasn't bad at keep out before. But in this case, it's really, really fucking difficult, right? And again, you'd be like, it's a skill issue. But I don't think it's a skill issue because when I watch the highest levels of play in this game, very seldom do I see like, oh yeah, that was really good keep out. He's standing back, doing the thing that you accused or that we accused Tekken 7 of doing. Like, I'm just going to wait for you to do something and then catch you. That doesn't exist because hitboxes are so powerful. Reina is going to get in. She's going to get in. By design, she's going to get in. Maybe not for Brian with the long ass legs. Sure. But like, that character who wants to get in is going to get in because they have been designed to be able to get in. Oftentimes, plus. Right? That's the thing. So it's like, so again, if you want to deploy a keep out strategy, good luck. With nerfed backdash, with nerfed generic backdash, and with the extreme hitboxes, not only in terms of thickness sideways, but also forward, good fucking luck. Keep out strategy. Again, you know that classic triangle? Keep out, again, it's not an accident. It's by design. They want to keep out to be weak. They want people to be able to get in because they're tired of like the new player having to, basically, they're tired of the new player having to do what I do when I play against you, Genius, where you're backdashing and I'm chasing after you. Like, I love it when you do that. So like, that's real Tekken, but I can't do that to you, right? Not with my standard controller, right? If your keep out gets whiff punished by a heat engager, then you're back into the situation you hate. Hold on with it. I get that nerfing certain moves like Magic 4 or the keep out options are weaker. Way worse, way worse. Yeah, that sense of like, I'm just going to throw out this like, I'm going to do the classic Asuka back three from range 2 safely. No, you can't do that safely anymore. You can't, because you'll die. You'll fucking die. Because that character's, your opponent's forward 2, and 9 times out of 10 they have one, will catch you into heat. Like, so you can, or the classic Master Raven, I'm going to do that. You know that weird backflip she used to do? That launching backflip? That like on block it was murder, but on whiff it was actually kind of clean, right? So you just throw it out. That, when was the last time you saw someone do that? Like, I'm going to do this keep out. I'm going to create this painful barrier of hitboxes that you have to navigate. That's gone. That's gone. And again, not an accident, by design. But isn't this the beauty of fighting games? One option beats another, which gets beaten by another. No, the beauty of fighting, yes, actually you're right. The beauty of fighting games is that you have a rock, paper, scissors where different options are equally strong. If anything, it's what Tekken 8 is all about. No. Because again, to go back to what we were saying earlier, powerful offense has to be checked by powerful defense, right? If you have a game like rock, paper, scissors, but the rock, I don't know how to make the analogy, but if you have a game of rock, paper, scissors, but like, let's say scissors only works 50% of the time, it's a bad game, right? Like, all those pillars of that game need to be equally strong. This is the point I'm having. This is the point. And it's just like, you cannot play this game and play keep out. You can't. Let me take that back. You can do anything. You can't win that way. Which is why a lot of characters kind of feel lackluster, because they've been developed over 30 years, over 20 years or whatever, to be a certain way, only for that way of play to be removed. So now Asuka's like, well, historically, you were a keep out character and whiff punisher, but we don't want that style to play. So now you get dumb gorilla moves, +5 stuff. That's your game style now. So okay, but like, I'm not going to be better at this than other people who have 10 years worth of this type of game style. And the game style that I beat those guys at, you've decided is no longer good. So what do? Fuck me, I guess. Right? I get you. I don't think you should have equal balance in each pillar, though. I think you should have equal balance in each pillar, or at the very least, they should have good options to take them out. Because, for example, you'll know more about this, but in 2D games, I can understand them being like, we don't like keep out. We don't like zoning, let's say. So we're going to make the zoners kind of weak. Or grapplers are a good example. We don't want grapplers to be strong in this game. Sorry, we don't. So we're going to make them weak in this way. I understand that sometimes you put your finger on the scale. The designers have to put their finger on the scale. We don't want a game where the zoning is the most powerful. We don't want a game where grapplers are the most powerful. So you intentionally go, we want this to be the strongest style. I get that. But my point is, their finger is too heavy on the scale. And they're heavy on a scale in a way that we've not seen before. And it's like, and that's fine if you want to cut the cast down to like 15 characters and they're all rushed down, fine. But like, you have this very bloated game where even though you have all these moves, the best way to play is this one clear way. And the best characters, therefore, will always be, at least in its current state, the playable who do this the best, who can get in and limit their opponent's options. The best way to win in this game is to stop one. So my reasoning is, when you have equal balance, it gets boring very quickly. If the scale is hit like 60-40 offensive favor, people with the better defense become even better. Yes, I think you're right. Yes. But the thing is, we're talking about different factors. Yes, offense should always be stronger than defense. I'm not debating that. Yeah, I'm not saying that it should be 50-50. They should never be 50-50. Offense should be stronger than defense. But what I'm talking about, the scales that I thought you were talking about in terms of equal, like I said, if I go back to Virtua Fighter, because I am increasing, I just literally finished writing a script today for a video I'm going to make, where literally everything it's true rock, paper, scissors in like the best way. I'm going to give you a sneak peek. I'm going to give you a sneak peek of the video that's coming, right? In Virtua Fighter, a jab is +2 on block, okay? Try and keep these numbers in your head. Obviously, in the video, they'll be on screen. A jab is +2 on block, okay? So if I tag you with my jab, whether you go hit you or you blocked it, it's my, in fact, is there a way I can snooze ads? I'm snoozing ads for a bit. Okay, cool. There's a way you can ensure, there's a way you could, I'm +2. So I put you in a situation I now have to think about what you're going to do. Because even though I'm +2, listen to me when I say this, there is no offensive option I can do that is quote unquote safe. Nothing. If I try to enforce my +2 with a throw and you strike, you can throw the slowest launcher you have, the biggest, dirtiest down forward 2, and because strike speed throws, you'll beat me. Cool. I might try and take my +2 with a slower mid, but because you have dick jab, right, which comes out in 12 frames, right? So I'm +2, you have 12 frames. You can, that dick jab, the fact that you have a dick jab will allow you to beat 90% of the moves I could possibly do. 90%, even though I'm +2, okay? So I then have to rely on my forward punch, which is basically like your down forward 1. It's 14 frames, right? 14 frames plus covered with my +2 allows me to stuff your dick jab, right? So these moves, the throw, the standard jab that's +2, the dick jab that's really fast, and the down forward 1 equivalent that can stop your dick jab when I'm +2 is like the core building blocks. So in Virtua Fighter, winning is about this. I put you in a situation where you have to respond, and I make a bet as to what your response is. Listen to me when I say this, genius. There is no move I can do on offense that's safe. None. Right? And you might say, oh, well, then defense is too strong. No. Because while there's no move I can do that's safe, there's plenty of moves I can do that will fuck you up if I'm right. That's the beauty of it. I absolutely have, if I'm playing Wolf, I have a throw that can do 50% of your health. 50%. Okay? But if I go for that throw, and you know I'm going to go for that throw, and you do your big slow launcher, I'm getting fucked up. Okay? So both players, instead of thinking about what they want to do, like in Tekken, I'm just, oh, I'm going to run this offense, I'm going to do this sequence. I'm thinking about what I want to do. It's a very selfish game. In Virtua Fighter, the thing I have to think about the most is what do I think you're going to do in 0.5 seconds. It doesn't matter genius, it doesn't matter what you want to do. What you want to do does not matter. What matters is what do I think you are going to do. My choices have to be based on what you're doing. Because if I get it wrong, even though I'm +2 or +5 or +7, I will die. But if I'm right, I'll kill you. And so the power of +2 is that the risk is more on my side. But even as a defender, you can turn tables. Because let's say you know, like I said, if you know I'm going to go for my big throw, you can, if you're willing to bet, risk it and blow me the fuck up. Even as a defender, even if you're -5, even if you're -9, if you're genius, if you're -9, right, and you know the move I'm going to do is going to be a linear mid. I'm not going to throw because throws track, and I'm not going to be a circular move. You can step. You can step safe in the knowledge that you will beat me. You don't need to know all of my moves. You just need to be able to make a bet as to what class of move I'm going to make. That is amazing. You don't need to know, oh, does his down forward 2 track to the left or right? No. In this moment, I think Chad is going to take his +5. He's going to go for his 14 frame counter hitting move. But I also know it's linear. Stepping it. What direction? Doesn't matter. It's not circular or half circular. We're going. That's the beauty of it. You get choices as an attacker and choices as a defender. Offense is powerful, but defense is also powerful. It's so good. It's so good. It's such a well-designed game. Second team wants that level of interactivity, but have fetish for DGen offense. 100%. But the thing is, that DGen offense doesn't work unless it's checked by defense. Because like I said, I get you, but I think you're being hyperbolic against Tekken 8 now. That situation where you don't get to act in each round is usually only from a heat engager. The rest of the round, you're still interacting. I might be biased because I play Steve. I don't think you're biased. I would never dismiss your opinion as biased. I do think you're missing something, genuinely, and I do think you might serve by spending a bit of time playing a different character, maybe before season 2, right? But like, because Sway does get you out a lot of shit. Because the reason I play Feng is not because I like Feng, because Feng has bullshit that lets him get out of situations too. But for most characters in the game, you just have to hold it, and it sucks. Okay, and like I promise you, the list of options available to you when you are -5 in Virtua Fighter is so different from the list of options available to you when you're -5 in Tekken. It's very different. It's very different. Like even when Kazuya does like Petricide Fist and you're -5. You don't have no options. But the risk reward is absolutely in his favor. Absolutely in his favor. In Kazuya's favor. Way more. Hold on. The interaction in TA is mediated by broken frame data on block and tracking mids. I appreciate the clean discourse. No, everyone in this chat is a friend, bro. Everyone in this chat is a friend. Even though I think you're relatively new to the chat, you're one of us. I'm an old man. We fucking talk deep shit here. We banter. We use foul language. We're all cool here. Like, and the thing is, I'm totally Genius is a fighting game. He's been in the trenches. There's a good chance he's right. And even when I disagree with him, he says stuff that I'm like, okay, Let me go away and think about that. I remember once you accused me of being like, are you sure you're not just being nostalgic? And I didn't dismiss what you said. I was like, let me check. Let me check. Maybe I am, man. So yeah, no, don't ever be afraid to check me when you're saying shit. I think you have a good point. But I stand by this because I have gone away and thought about this very deeply. I really do think that they have really betrayed one of the core tenets of 3D fighting games. And I can understand how an experienced 2D fighting game player is like, whatever, this is the norm. I'm like, yeah, it's the norm for you. But there's a reason why 3D fighting game players became 2D fighting game players and not 2D fighting game players. There are options that we expect to have. And there's a certain amount of helplessness that we are willing to accept. And I think they have introduced a 2D level of helplessness that a 2D player might be accustomed to. But like, I'm not accustomed to. And the debate has been, do I wish to become accustomed to it? And it's been hard because I have a Tekken channel. It's about Tekken. I have Tekken friends. So a part of me is like, I want this, but I don't though. You know what I mean? It's been a real thing. I want it. It's like when you're on a date with a really hot girl, but she's really dumb. She's really dumb, but she's really hot. So you want it to work. But there's only a certain amount of like dumbness you can handle. Like this bitch is dumb. Like this bitch is actually dumb. And I can't ignore it. I can't ignore it any longer. I watched the buff guy video too. I like the polite check. Yeah. No, the polite check it's important. It's important. I like the buff guy. I watched his video earlier. I need to make another comment. Activating heat doesn't unblock moves if they lose their turn. Random rage arts are legit the only thing I can think of. I'm guessing because all the Tekkens, you have more options. You would be able to interact more with more options. Activating heat, it's less. Okay. Oh, okay. So you're acting for instance I'm talking about. I'll give you an example. So let's see. So first of all, we'll start from neutral, right? And we work inward. So from neutral, like I talked about, there's a lot of moves that are broken unless you can step them, but then they haven't been easy to step, right? So that's one issue. Very frustrating. But then even if we then go in, you have a lot of moves where it's like, okay, this move is not only plus on hit low, but you are now in a situation where you really do have to guess for your life. The Eddie situation comes to mind. There are also situations where, like Kazuya, where we had that debate where it's like, okay, then he would dismiss the buff guy would dismiss it as a non-forced mix-up, but he puts you in a petrified fist, and it's like, look, if I try and sidestep, he has a mid and a low, and if I try and sidestep to get around the mid and the low, and he goes for the electric, I fucking die, right? So it's like, I'm really screwed either way. Now, it's okay that he has 3 ways of killing me, but it would be nice if I had a real good way of killing him too. Yeah, you feel so powerless because even when you have the exact read in Tekken 8, you can't step the mid check. This is what I'm saying. I want to be able, I don't mind you being powerful, but if I know what you're about to do, again, in Virtua Fighter, if I know what you're about to do in the next 0.5 seconds, you're going to be dead in the 0.5 seconds after that. Whereas in Tekken, I'm like, there's a lot of situations where I just have to hold it. I know what you're going to do. I just have to hold it. Because even if I'm right, the reward I get does not match the penalty I will pay, the beatings I will receive if I am wrong. They're not equivalent. Whereas in Virtua Fighter, it's like, okay, I think you're going to punch next. Mid punch, high punch, not relevant. I've seen you. Every time I do this move, you take your turn back with the punch. I'm going to do my punch sabaki. If I'm right, I launch you. If I'm wrong, I get counter hit. If I'm wrong, I die. But if I'm right, you die. Being able to have options like that as a defender is great. And a lot of Tekken situations were like that. Where like, yes, you can force situation, but if I'm right, I can kill you. Is there something wrong with holding it? Do you have to have counter where you get advantage block for a better, more fun game? Genius, that's a great question. For me, the answer is yes, I have to. In 2D games, you don't have to. And if you're okay with holding it, you will be a great 2D player. Again, what we talked about is not about right or wrong. It's about, do you like the problem, yes or no? If you are okay with holding situations, you might have a lot of fun with 2D games. If you don't like holding situations, you won't have fun with 2D games. I don't like holding things. So I became a 3D fighting game player. Then my 3D fighting game started to make me have to hold shit. Does that make it wrong? No, but it makes it different. And it makes it less interesting to me and people who like me who came here to escape that shit. Does that make sense? Right? So I could understand how an intelligent, rational person would be like, this is fine. I'm not saying that my feelings are objectively correct, but rather I have a set of preferences that Tekken has catered to and they have now aggressively said, we're not interested in that. So now I have to be like, it's like you go to a restaurant, it's a Chinese restaurant, you love Chinese restaurant, and they're like, yeah, we don't serve Chinese food now, we serve Indian food. And it's like, okay, the Indian food quality is good, But do I want Indian food? That's the question you have to ask. I'm like, I didn't come here for Indian food. I came here for Chinese food. You've changed the menu. I have to ask myself, do I want to stay here? That's the question, right? That's the thing. So for me, the answer is no, I don't like having to hold it. The thing I like about 3D games, like I said earlier, if I know what you're about to do next, I want to be able to kill you. Absolutely kill you. Not just punish you, not just survive, kill you. Kill you. Kill you. That's the point. That's why the game, despite always having mix-ups, was never very mix-up heavy. Because in Tekken, in order to enforce a mix-up on you, I had to invite myself into the mix-up. I had to be taking the great risk myself. And so over the long run, it just wasn't sustainable. There's a reason I picked Tekken 7 up. The idea of becoming that impeccable fortress was super interesting to me. Me too. But again, what Genius is really hinting at is like, this isn't right or wrong. This isn't about this is the correct way. It's about preferences. They have chosen a direction. But again, this is why I say I don't have any faith in season 2. Because I don't think they're failing. I think they're succeeding in what they're trying to do. My beef is I don't like what they're trying to do. So maybe the issue is not about complaining about the restaurant. Just go to a different fucking restaurant. You want Chinese food. Chad, accept it. This is no longer a Chinese restaurant. Accept it, okay? Don't be a bitch. Accept it. It's their restaurant. They have the right to make and serve the food they want to make. You were here for 7 years because you liked what they were serving. Now they've changed it. They don't have to change anything. It's your turn. Do you stay or do you leave? And that's where I'm at. For the longest time, I was like, well, the food is getting a little spicy, but like, it's fine. They probably just like fucked up a little bit and they'll put it back. But then the more you play, the more you look at the decisions they're making, you're gonna go, oh wait, no. This isn't an accident. They want this. They want to go in this direction. And a lot of people need to stop saying that it's bad. It's not a bad direction, but it's a very anti-Tekken direction, at least so far. And I'm not enjoying it. But also, there's stuff that is just bad, I think. There's something about the game that is just straight up bad. But a lot of the stuff that really gets to me is just like, yeah, just choices on a mechanical level. It just doesn't do it for me. They actually made something extremely complex and don't know what to do with balance and design. Yeah, I think so. I think it's more, I'm a little bit more sympathetic to that. I think it's more a case of, don't forget, again, so I keep talking about Yu-Gi-Oh! They made a bunch of cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! And then they kept making more and more cards. So now the game as a whole is this fucking bloated mess. And like, there are broken combos that they don't even know about. Because this move that they made back in 97, now combos fucked up with this proof they printed yesterday. Like, oh fuck, we didn't think about that. Right? Do you know what I mean? It's fucking wild. Whereas like in, what was I saying? And Tekken is a similar thing, where it's like, okay, for X amount of years, we've designed this character to be, what up, Phantom? For X amount of years, oh, what up, Jerry? I didn't see you there. For X amount of years, we've designed Tekken to be this type of game with this kind of movement. And now we've moved away from it. So it's like, okay, but I'm a backdash character. I'm a backdash whiff punishing character. What do I do now? I guess we'll give you a +5 on block running high, I guess. Like, they're having to like gerrymander people into a style of game that they haven't been designed for 10 years. If you were designing a game to be like this from the ground up, you'd be fine. I get what you mean. Thanks, Skyblaze. If you designed this game from the ground up, you'd be fine. You'd be fine. But it wasn't designed for like this from the ground up. It wasn't. It really wasn't. Though there's an argument that if you got into the optionless situation, it was a bad decision before, which is why everyone is more concerned with pressing than pressing correctly. I see what you mean. Yeah, like no, that was Speedkick's answer when I was watching his videos. They were like, look, if you don't like these mix-up situations, the way to sort out desire is to not be there. Don't be there, right? How do I solve the situation? Don't be there. But like, I find that answer non-compelling. Because again, if we go back to the Eddie situation, the 4-4-3. Okay, so how do I not get hit by 4-4-3? Crouch? Is that the answer? Sideways movement? Does 4-4-3 not have any sideways movement? Like what? Like I don't buy it. Like we talked about this earlier, where it's like, even though I don't think it's dumb. I just don't think it's a compelling answer. I really don't. I think I would never call Speedkick dumb. He's actually one of the people whose opinions on Tekken I respect the most, which is why he confuses me so much. Because I agree on everything, and he's like, no, I love Tekken. I'm like, wait, what? He's not lying. He's not a liar. He means it. I don't get it. And there's other people who I respect and they like Tekken 8, and I go, okay. Again, go back to my analogy. Maybe I'm the problem. I just need to leave the restaurant. I came here because it was a Chinese restaurant. Now they're doing Indian food. The Indian food apparently is pretty good, but I'm not here for Indian food. So maybe I just need to leave. Stop bitching, just leave. That's what it seems like to me. Tekken was a thing. It was a proposition. Now it's become something else. And I don't enjoy that something else. Should I just bitch about it? There's plenty of people coming through the door. They love the new Indian restaurant. They love it. They're having a great time. Do I want to be that guy fucking just being like, don't come here, it's whack. Don't be that guy. Don't yuck on other people's yums. You know what I mean? They're having a good time. I need to leave. I need to go find something. You know what I mean? Hold on. A lot of great comments here. Give me a second. Yeah, there's no solution to so many situations. Better not to get there to begin with. Pretty dumb, respectfully. Oh yeah, those guys really despise Tekken 7 because it didn't feel like you were fighting. Lol. No, I understand their position too, because it lost. For a lot of people, Tekken was movement, and Tekken 7 lost a lot of its movement. I was watching, Rubbish made a great video, an amazing video talking about, the point of his video was you know what, we're gonna watch it together. We're gonna fucking watch it together. The point of his video is he's talking about how, he was saying that Tekken Tag's movement was too good, right? And it made the game worse. But what's really funny is when you read the comment section, he's like, Rubbish, this is a fantastic video. It's really well made. You have completely, but I cannot disagree with you more. Like your point was to try and convince me that them limiting the movement was a good thing. But after watching your video, I am now more convinced than ever that we need that movement back.
Good movement makes for good games, right? It's hard for me to think of a more universally accepted viewpoint within the community. We love that shit.
Menu's blowing up.
Seeing people style on others by dodging and weaving, or someone making an insane comeback through the clever application of being a slippery little git. A theory that is lent further credence if you consider what happens to games where movement gets dumpstered. Consider, for example, Tekken 4, a game more or less completely shunned by history, largely because it made drastic cuts to the efficiency of backdash as a neutral space.
I'll play some Shadow. I have a gimmicky Shadow.
Or later iterations of Soul Calibur where glitches like step guarding were deleted and counter-hitting states were applied, tarnishing the series' legacy of being the movement fighter. But I happen to think that this theory isn't necessarily true, or should at least probably be reworded a bit. Tekken Tag Tournament 2 has, at first glance, a movement system that doesn't seem very far removed from the one you will be familiar with in Tekken 7. There's backdash, sidestep, and sidewalk, all cancelable into stuff just like in Tekken 7. However, unlike in 7, because of buffs to distances gained, time window to guard again, and smaller hitboxes on attacks, Tag 2 has quite a lot stronger sideways movement.
Ooh.
Something that might come...
Did you see that? Homie got hit and then moved. Wild.
...come across as a godsend if you're a Tekken 7 player.
Yep.
After all...
So there's nothing to keep in mind. Even compared to earlier Tekken 7's movement was bad. And I think that's Speed Kicks' is real beef, but we'll get into it.
Being able to step more things is an oft-recurring request, and sometimes lament of a large portion of the player base. Because of Tekken's history as a pretty movement-focused series, there's an expectation from players that movement ought to be able to be utilized to solve more parts of the puzzle than what it currently does.
Stop. That sentence is the key part of this video and why I'm watching this part, right? There's an expectation from Tekken players, because we played Tekken, that movement should be able to solve a higher percentage of the problems that we will face. That is, again, that is what we expect from Tekken. That's why we became Tekken players and say not VF players or Street Fighter players, right? There's a valid expectation. It's very key. You articulated it better than I did.
I mean, you could argue that Bamco already put a chain on unhindered sideways movement way back in Tekken 6 with the addition of homing moves, a category of attacks that track the opponent regardless of direction they step and distance they cover. It follows somewhat reasonably from this stance that buffing sideways movement actually gives homing moves a clear use case, instead of them often being mishmashed in with other attacks that just happen to track the opponent super well without being homing. More system interaction, more options, more great fighting gaming. Let's take a look at a pretty standard set of interactions in Tag 2 vis-a-vis its sideways movement. But before that, this video is sponsored by nobody.
Shut up.
Actually,
get to the point. Show the part that I'm really interested in. Here we go.
back.
Yeah, go to his Patreon. He's a killer.
Our
Go.
sidestepping character of choice will
This
be
is so
Brian,
good. This video is so good.
something that might feel like an odd choice, considering that Brian is in no way noteworthy in said department, having a pretty normal character size, not being especially nimble or moving especially far. This is of course the entire point of using him as an example. If Brian can do stuff, then the rest of the cast can more or less do the same. Up against Brian, we have series protagonist Kazuya, who will at different sets of frame advantages try to attack Brian with a set of moves to showcase the risk mitigation possible with sideways movement. The moves in question are Electric Wind God Fist, Kazuya's signature launcher and strong pressure move, a really fast high attack with a large hitbox in both directions, susceptible to sidestep and sidewalk to his right, but because of the hitbox size, this is hardly done without any risk. Hell Sweep, Kazuya's signature mix-up low attack, a foot sweep with pretty long reach and decent enough tracking. Very high risk if blocked, and is usually sidewalk to Kazuya's right. Down forward
Sidewalk
to
left, bro.
Kazuya's signature homing mid attack and counter hit tool. Down for 2 is a large hitbox mid attack that is unsafe on guard, but as earlier stated is homing and so will always catch sidewalks to either direction. At low amounts of frame advantage, we'll see that Brian is afforded a strong consistent way to risk mitigate Kazuya's offense by step guarding, giving him a way to nullify all of these options if Kazuya just mindlessly throws them out. He'll make Hell Sweep and Electric Wind God.
Again, that's another key phrasing. He can move in a way that will punish the attacker if they throw the move out. Brainlessly. I forget the word he used. If they throw the move out mindlessly. That's a key sentence here. You can move in such a way that will punish the attacker if they throw their moves out mindlessly. Again, this is an expectation that we Tekken players have historically had. That if I master the movement system, the Tekken stepping system made me give up pretty early on in my learning. Gentleman Thief, you are the perfect. So Gentleman Thief is a killer VF player, right? He found the pressure of the movement system unappealing. So what the fuck did he do? He moved on to Virtua Fighter and became a killer in that game. This is the point, right? Players of certain games like it a certain way, right? They like every fighting game player has problems they like to solve. People who enjoyed the ability to mitigate their opponent's attacks with movement became Tekken players. People who found that frustrating fucking left. Both valid choices, right? So which is why Tekken sort of pulling the rug from the people who stuck with Tekken is wild. Let's continue.
God Fist whiff, and will block in time to punish Kazuya trying to catch step with the homing down for 2. At mid amounts of frame advantage, we'll see a shift in this risk-reward dichotomy. Because Brian has been hit with a stronger or riskier attack, he's given less leeway in terms of risk mitigation, meaning that he, in this case, has to choose between step guarding down for 2 and electric, or sidewalking electric and hell sweep. Both options are still good risk mitigation, but there is now a chink in the armor, so to speak. At large amounts of frame advantage, the system has again put a wrench in Brian's defensive options, and rewarded Kazuya for making a strong read or punish. Brian now has low amounts of risk mitigated possibilities, and must instead opt for hard reads for strong defensive reward. Sidewalk.
So again, I know you're all paying attention, but to reiterate, to make sure that we're taking away the same things, okay? Depending on how minus you are, your movement can allow you to mitigate more things. If you're only -1, you can move in such a way as to mitigate 90% of his offense. If you're -5, you can only move in such a way as to mitigate 60% of his offense. If you're -9, you can only move in such a way as to mitigate 30% of his offense, right? So your options go down the more minus you are. But movement can be used as a solution to multiple things. This is a key element of Tekken. It's not a coincidence that people would often say Tekken is movement. If you find that power of movement to be frustrating, leave Tekken. If you love it, stick around, right? That's a key thing of Tekken, historically.
Walking Hell Sweep will get him launched by electric and hit by down for 2. but step guard will still get clipped by hell sweep. When I lay it out like this, it seems like a pretty great system, right? Movement can at low amounts of frame advantage be strongly applied, even against attacks with great tracking or large hitboxes, putting a stop to autopilot.
To answer your question, Hades, bro, hell sweep used to be, you used to be able to step a hell sweep. You didn't have to walk a hell sweep. You used to be able to step a hell sweep, bro. That was the point. It was felt that a move like that would be hella cheap unless you could easily move away from it because of the range and the power, and it was a low. That was how it used to be balanced. It's like, oh, whatever. If you call it out, you step it, you cover it. That was the norm. And when there was a period, I've told you about this many times, Hades. There was a period where they talked about buffing the hell sweep. Now in Tekken 8, because they buffed it. They were talking about buffing the hell sweep tracking in Tekken 7, and the community shat on Murray. It has that famous tweet where it was like, well, if you know it's coming, just duck. And we were like, you idiot. The point is, I don't want to have to duck. I want to be able to use movement to mitigate the threat of multiple options. How do you not see that?
Offense. But at the same time, movement suffers a setback and requires different levels of risk assessment once you're put
Why
at
step?
more
Just block it.
sizable
5 head?
levels of disadvantage. Only, I haven't
Yeah, he
been
tweeted
fully
that,
honest with you. These scenarios I've just laid out.
Hades, he tweeted that. It was one of the most infamous tweets ever. He tweeted that, and the whole tech community was like, are you drunk? Like, why would you need to step it? Just, if you know it's coming, just block. It's like, Murray, the reason I step is because I don't know if it's coming. That's the point. That's the point!
For you with all their nuanced interactivity don't actually stem from Tekken tech.
By the way, a warning for players who are part of the pro movement. This next part is going to depress you. He says it as a bad, what he's about to say, he says is a bad thing. If you're like me, you're about to get depressed. Fair warning.
Tag 2. It is instead how it all comes together in Tekken 7's movement system. Yes, you did hear that right. As compared to Tekken 7, Tag 2's sidestep not only moves further quicker, but it crucially also allows for a faster step to guard. A lethally efficient combination of properties that open the door wide open for risk mitigation.
Get ready.
So what, you might be asking yourself? Kazuya's homing move will still jack Brian up or force him to be fine with being open to Hell Sweep. What does it matter if Kazuya just has to be at a slightly higher frame advantage for this to work? I mean, what could go wrong with giving people more strong defensive options?
Motherfucker's moving at +6, bro. Sorry, at -6. Brian is moving at -6. And moving in such a way as to mitigate this mix-up. He's moving at -7, guys. This is kind of how VF... Gentleman Thief! That's my point. That's how VF works. So as someone who is seeking these options, you now see why I'm falling in love with VF, even though I'm shit at the game. You see it. Because like, oh, even when I'm -8, I'm not like helpless. I have like options. What a novel. What a concept. So what Rubbish here is saying, and again, great content creator, should definitely check out his stuff, super great thinker, but what he's saying is like, look how terrible it is for Kazuya. Even though he's +9, he can't like force something onto his opponent. Isn't that terrible? And you're like, no. Like, he has to use skill to apply it. He has to waifu. That's why he has that. Or he has to, this creates a timing thing. So everything he's doing is on instant timing. So because he knows this about Bride, he now cannot afford to just mash. Exactly, Hades. Exactly. Just don't do it on immediate timing. That's my point. It actually creates more depth because now we're not only playing with space, we're playing with time. Space and time. 3D. Einstein would be happy. That's what we want. We don't want the linear 2D. Everything has to happen on instant timing. We like the timing aspect. We like that. Strong movement allows for great timing movement. Delay option, exactly. But he's being like, oh, but it's terrible. Because of this movement system, I can't do anything on immediate timing. It's like, yeah, that's correct. Yes. If you play everything on immediate timing, you'll die. So you have to delay buttons, which then creates new opportunities so even though I'm -9, I have options. I understand. Yeah, this is the appeal of VF. Exactly, gentlemen. If you see it. So even though this is what threw you away from for Tekken initially, ironically, the options that stuff like this creates now don't happen in Tekken, but VF gives you. VF just used a different way of approaching the same method. This idea of in VF, when you're a defender, you still have tons of options available, and the attacker. Neither the attacker or the defender is safe, regardless of what the frame data says, right? This is true in VF, and this used to also be true in Tekken, but they arrived at it in a different way. However, it is no longer true in Tekken, and it's still true in Virtua Fighter. I quit on Tekken 8. I already understood VF then. Yeah, you were all good. You were all good. This is, and it's really important to understand, because again, the reason we're here right now, even though I'm meant to stop dreaming an hour ago, so trying to articulate my beef with Tekken 8, instead of just bitching, trying to articulate why it is. I feel this way, and why I'm recommending everyone try VF, because that feeling of helplessness on defense is not good. Super strong offense is whack if it isn't met with super strong defense. Ugh. Anyway. Bro, -9. He can still make choices. -9 is like, oh, this motherfucker's gonna do this on immediate time. And check this out. Bang, got you.
The effects on gameplay that movement of this strength has cannot be stressed enough. Unlike Tekken 6 and 7, Tag 2 is a game that is fundamentally defense-orientated, where offensive action, almost regardless of how advantageous of a situation the attacker finds themselves in, is inherently a high-risk proposition.
Look at these motherfuckers schmooving,
The addition
though.
of super strong defensive movement, coupled with the power of launchers through the game's combo system, acts to further repress the strategic value of poking.
So, is there a magical number of plus frames where this would be acceptable with old movement? What do you mean by acceptable with old movement? I'm a little bit confused. Are you asking... Yeah, it's an interesting question, but please rephrase it because I'm struggling to answer it. What do you mean specifically?
Not only is poking statistically undervalued purely numbers-wise
Only
in terms of
is that in Tag
reward,
2, 99%
the
of
risk-reward
players did not have
ratio
the matchup
of
knowledge
accosting
experience.
the
Yeah.
opponent with poking
Tag had the
attacks
issues, but the
is
movement system
further
wasn't it.
skewed because of the strength of the movement options available to pretty much the entire cast. Have fun painstakingly reducing your opponent's HP to 30% through pokes, only to have them step guard your down forward 1 at +8 and take 80% of your life bar while also replacing their own. Because of what these risk-reward ratios...
Listen to what... I want to play that again, and I want you to think as engineers. Because in my mind, there are two ways we solve this design problem, right? There are two ways. Listen
step
again.
guard your opponent's much the entire...
He's talking about how poking kind of gets stuffed because of the reward that comboing has. Let me see. So if you have Tag 2 movement, but I would want to play immediate timing, what is the amount of plus frames I would need to play immediate timing? Oh, I see. No, you could do immediate timing on quicker buttons. You could do immediate timing on weaker buttons, but on slower buttons, I would be able to move out of the way. That was the trade-off. So fast buttons could hit you on immediate timing, but rewarding buttons, your electrics, your big dumb moves, could be beaten. So that, again, added a layer of complexity. If you're desperate to do something on immediate timing, do something small. If you're desperate to do something big, you have to risk it. Not only by the frame data on block, but by setting up the timing to not have it at the beginning. So that was part of the design philosophy, right? So you could play on immediate timing, but just not with your electric, or just not with your, not with your, like, hell sweep. But if you just want to do a jab, or down forward 1, sure. And you'd be relatively safe. Because even if you did whiff, the let's say you did it, you were only -2, you're only +2, you did a down forward 1 that sidestepped it, you'd recover enough to block. So again, it created a trade-off and incentives for poking, which is what he's saying, that like there was no advantage to poking, which we'll get into. But let's say what he's saying is correct, that what we discussed, the bad thing about it, so to speak, is that it made poking weak and worthless because combos did made more damage. What would your solution to that be? Because my solution would not be what he seems to be.
Your cast. Have fun painstakingly reducing your opponent's HP to 30% through pokes, only to have them step guard your down forward 1 at +8 and take 80% of your life bar while also replacing their own. Because of what these risk-reward ratios boil down to,
right?
The whole
exactly. You would make. There's multiple ways you could do it. You could reduce combo damage. One thing. You could increase the damage of pokes. Another way of going about it. Or you could make it so the launches were very risky. Don't let people hold up. Exactly. That's another thing. Don't bring. My point is, even if we take what he's saying is true, there's multiple ways about it. You know what the worst possible solution to this problem would be? To nerf movement. Of all the ways to attain the goal that he wants to attain, nerfing movement? That's the first pull? That's the lever you pull? Nerf movement, not make launches more dangerous, not reduce combo damage, not increase the damage of pokes. Reduce movement? That's crazy. Why is that the choice?
Hallmarks of Tag 2 play at decent levels tend to be way more focused on extremely low commitment play. A recurring action you might catch and not be familiar with if you've only played Tekken 7.
This is acceptable when all the Tekkens
with your opponent.
Always had.
Because
is this acceptable when all the Tekken always had safe launchers? They weren't safe precisely because of what we just discussed.
And where their opponent
timing
will probably be stepping to. Try to step with their opponent
the
to
threat wasn't
realign
frames.
before
The threat
attempting
was,
attack.
in order to do it,
something that does
you would
allow
have to
for
delay your stuff.
offense,
An experienced player would kill you for
but
it.
it is of course very susceptible to the opponent calling it out and trying to counter hit the then delayed attack.
But he's saying that wasn't good enough, and he wants to incentivize poking. So in that case, I'd be like, okay, well, if you feel that the risk reward ratio on poking versus launching isn't good enough, the fix, in my view, would be reduce launch would make launches punishable. When saying -15 on block, it's no longer about timing because you have already blocked it. No. Maybe I'm not communicating my point. What we're saying is, if we're saying that old Tekken was bad because poking wasn't good in playing to launching, there are multiple ways you could fix it. Making launches more risky is one way. But another way might be like, launches are fine, but you just do less damage when you launch. You know what I mean? There's multiple ways around it, but nerfing movement wasn't the answer. No, sir.
And while this, on a technical level, means step guard doesn't automatically solve any and all pressure situations, it still obviously casts its very long shadow over them. And considering the Tekken 7 community at large has continued to moan about how unfun the defensive application of Ling Xiaoyu's stance, Art of Phoenix is, an option that is dealt with in the exact same way, i.e. stepping with her, I'm somewhat positive most players would agree with me that the mind games that Step Guard offer don't sound that enticing. If you add together all of the ways the systems in Tag 2 interact, you end up with a game that, in the end, only really rewards one way of playing. A large reason why the Mishimas are considered so strong in Tag 2, even though their moveset isn't on paper much crazier than in any other modern title, is that...
So at this point, he's talking more about Tag 2 in general, but that was a section about movement. And here's another video, one of my favorite Tekken videos, and we're going to end it here. Hold on, what's the video? What's it called? Let it go, timing, JDCR, Tekken... Yes, this is one of my favorite videos. And again, I'm going to leave it with you. This is my ending credits for the stream because it depresses me. Because he talks about a version of Tekken that is beautiful and that doesn't exist.
When observing the character you're up against, think about their 50-50 mix-up. If you're fighting against Kazuya, you'll often notice this one. When When you see a character like Brian, however, you don't have to think about the 50-50 since down back 3 doesn't knock down. It's very hard to sidestep out of Brian's options. Against characters like this, you don't have to sidestep as much. When choosing to move against these characters, prioritize moving backwards and blocking comfortably while watching them.
Look at that backdash, bro. So against Brian, you want to move back, prioritize getting out of his range, backdash it. And again, think of it this way. This character is designed to be defended against this way. Okay? So think about the implications now that we have enough backdash.
Kazuya's move list is mainly linear, which allows you to commit to sidewalking. If you sidewalk to the left against this mix-up, you can avoid it completely. It's very unlikely for someone to use every move a character has. Once you show a high-level opponent how you're moving, they're likely to change up their timing instead of their move choices. When hit by Kazuya's 1-2, I know he doesn't have a true mix-up in this situation. Once I see this, because I know of Kazuya's important moves, I know I'll get a big potential punish if I sidestep left. Due to the huge risk, Kazuya has to let the immediate timing go. This part of Tekken is very interesting because even though Kazuya is at +7, his opponent can still get out of the bad situation.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? He has to let the immediate... If he wants to do the move, he has to let the immediate timing go. Just... There's an entire time dimension of the design of Tekken that is just gone. Just send it now.
When watching high-level players, you'll often see movement like this.
Now, forward 2 punish. Ouch. Okay, brings in Red Heihachi. Now, Skinny Bob. Oh boy, they both got it. Oh!
These movements are all about giving up that initial timing and following your opponent's movement. If your opponent doesn't know your timing, you can still enforce Kazuya's 50-50. Here are some of Lily's options.
Yeah. Dance and nature is the most interesting part. But it's the part that people start calling boring. That's why I get all tetchy. I'm like, but you don't want to be a Tekken player.
When I think of a character, I always count their tracking moves. When Lily sees the opponent sidestepping left with immediate timing, she'll do a homing move or something that tracks specifically to that side. After the opponent learns and readjusts, he'll start walking to the right. You can't simply use tracking moves all day. When I have the advantage, if I see opponents mixing up their sidestep directions, I won't always do tracking moves. If you're using moves that only track one direction, you're especially prone to confusion or mistake when the opponent mixes up their directions.
He is talking, and he's saying really good stuff, but it might not come across because it's a video through a stream, so apologies to him. But it's a good video, it's worth watching. I'll post the link in a second. I do think it's worth watching. The video that, it's one of my favorite Tekken videos ever. It actually helped me understand a lot about Tekken, believe it or not. But, can I go on my own stream? Lol. Post my own chat. Can I go on my own stream?
There's no way to directly punish your opponent for moving, but moving along with them and ensuring your attacks track their movement will ensure you hold on to your advantageous position.
But yeah, movement was a key element of Tekken. It was part of the Tekken problem that people enjoyed, that Tekken fans enjoyed, and I think in their desire to cultivate a new audience, perhaps an audience who, like GT was saying, like, this kind of threw me off when I was first getting into it. Perhaps there's a lot of people who are like, Street Fighter is the most successful fighting game franchise. So I'm sure in Bamco they look at those numbers and be like, how do we get Street Fighter numbers? How do we appeal to those people, right? We want those numbers. And in doing so, I think there are many things in trade-offs in life, and I just don't like the trade-offs they make. Am I missing something, or does this still in Tekken Tier 8 with small Tekken? No, I don't think it does, because the movement that's available to you is significantly less. I'll give you an example. I want to show you something that I don't think exists in Tekken. I was like, oh, I fucking love that shit. You got down 4-2s, why the fuck not? Okay, hold on. I got hit, right? I got hit. I didn't know what the frames were. I don't know what side you should step Sarah. I don't know if I'm -6, -5, -4. I don't know any of that. I don't know any of that shit. In this moment, I just kind of thought, all I know, I'm confident, is that she's gonna, like, because she's got plus frame, she's gonna do an attack, and it's probably gonna be linear. I'm just gonna step. Side stepping so good. Even though I got hit, I stepped. And even though I got hit again, I kept stepping. I would never do that in Tekken. Because in Tekken, it's like, okay, I got hit, but it's really important. Am I -4? Am I -5? Am I -7 from that hit? Does this person's moves track to the left or the right? I would never have the confidence to make the decision that I just made here. And that might seem like a really small thing, but like, it feels good to make decisions in Virtua Fighter. And that's so hard to convey in a video. How do you convey the way decisions feel to make? You can't. You can't. But that's a key element. It feels, I just got hit. I don't know everything about Sarah, but I know this motherfucker's not going to throw me. They're not going to throw me. I'm very confident. I'm just going to step. I'm being right. The amount of data I need to know in order to make an informed decision is actually way less. Obviously, there's higher levels of the game, but like, again, this is super small, but this is meaningful to me. This isn't possible in a 2D game. If the decision is easier to make, doesn't it make it less impactful though? No, because even if it's easier to make, it's not less risky. Because if I'm wrong, I'll die, right? Because I'm minus whatever. So if they do a circular to catch my step, it'll count as a counter hit. So like, both of us, when I get hit, have to make a decision really quickly about what we think the next person is going to do. And it's really meaningful. So I think in some ways, the decision is easier to make. It's easier to push the button on the decision, but it's harder to make because the cost of being wrong is so high. And I kind of like that because it's high for both of us. And if I'm right, I can fucking go from being hit to having my opponent's rare. Like, it's really massive. And so the act of getting hit in Virtua Fighter is more fun than the act of getting hit in Tekken. Which might sound weird, but like when you get hit in Virtua Fighter, like the game doesn't stop. The list of options available to you is still huge. And when I hit you in Virtua Fighter, of course, the list available. So like, in terms of like option per second, play per second, you just get more. Like this, and again, it's really hard to convey that in a video. Yeah, but in Tekken 8, the cost of being wrong is basically death. No. Yes, the cost of being wrong is basically death. But the point I'm trying to make is that when I get hit in Tekken, how right can I possibly be? The correct thing to do is just hold back. Just hold back. Just hold back. Just hold back. Because the risk to reward ratio isn't there. Whereas in this, I'm like, no, if I was quicker on the draw, I could have gone from getting hit to bang, launch you. I got hit back, I could launch it, right? So my point is, it's worth taking again, I said this again in that video. It really comes down to how many interesting choices can I make on defense? What potential reward exists to me? In Tekken, it's like, look, guess mid or low. And even if you guess right, oftentimes all you really earn is the right to guess again. Unless you guessed low on the hell sweep, in which case, congratulations, now you get to combo your opponent. And now you win. Don't you feel great? Not really. But yeah, that's enough. We're going back in circles. Thank you for humoring me, this old man talking about how he feels about video game design. Obviously, if you enjoy Tekken 8, enjoy Tekken 8. I want everyone to have fun. I want everyone to have fun with all the games that they're playing. And as people have said, maybe Tekken 8 will go in a different direction in season 2, right? It happened before, right? But that would require them to feel that the game is not successful. And I just don't have evidence for them to think that way. I think they're very happy with the way the game has gone. I think it's worked really well for them. And there's a lot of people who enjoy it. So that's important too. But yeah, thank you for joining. I'm gonna go raid someone. Is GT playing? Why was it? Is GT streaming?